Welcome back. We are on video number 2 with your economic or your personal finance project. But as always, before we get down to the nitty-gritty, your joke of the day. So today's joke: do you guys know when it rains money? When there is change in the weather. So there you have it. As always, take it in, laugh it off. But now we get back to personal finance. So today's video is going to be relatively short. We're going to talk about section 2, which is going to be housing. So as it says on there, you're going to find adequate housing by renting an apartment or other housing or buying or something along those lines. So a couple of guidelines for your project. You cannot live rent-free. You can't just say, I'm going to live with my parents. You cannot just say, my friends are going to give me a place to stay for free. You can split it if you want to split an apartment with somebody, but you have to pay at least 50%. You can't just say, oh, my rich buddy, he's making $200,000 a year, so he's going to let me live off of his expense. Probably not. But talking about the two different ways, we'll first start by talking about renting. Now, say for example, you're like, all right, Beulah, I've had enough of you. I want to get as far away as possible. So you make the journey to Bismarck, North Dakota. So what I just simply did is I just typed in apartments in Bismarck. And this was apartments.com is generally a pretty good website. And they have all the different listings and all the different apartments that you can get in the city. So what you have to do for them is just click on it. I don't want you really to enter a lot of personal information, certainly not your address or phone number or anything like that, because they're going to reach out to you and they're going to call you nonstop. But I want you to get on one of these websites and find how much it's going to be for an apartment. In this example here, looks like a pretty new building, and what they're going to have is they're going to have the different types of apartments that you can have, which I'm listing right here. So say for example, you want to get a 1-bedroom apartment. You know that your rent is going to be $995. Now, again, you can split that if you want to. Odds are if you have a 1-bedroom apartment, you're probably not going to want to be splitting that. You might want to go to this 2-bedroom one here, but that is going to be completely up to you. Now, one important thing to note is talk about what's included in your rent. So you can see right here, list what services and benefits are included in your rent. You want to include where your location is going to be, because you want to make sure that you're finding a place to live that is going to be close to your job. Another section that you're going to be doing is figuring out how much money you're spending in gas per month. Well, if you have to drive 200 miles every day, I mean, first of all, that's unrealistic to drive 200 miles round trip every single day. You're probably going to move somewhere a little bit closer than that. But you want to make sure you know where you live and how close it's going to be to where your actual job is. But the second thing is try to figure out what's included in your rent. So you can see here, and I'm not really going to make you be too concerned about the application fee or the dog fee or anything like that. But what is included in this one is going to be your water. So when it comes to a later section on utilities, know that you're not going to have to pay this water, trash removal, or sewer, because that's going to be included in your price of rent. So that's going to be if you want to rent an apartment. Now, the other thing that you can do, which we're going to spend a little bit more time talking on, is going to be your house. If you want to purchase a home, if you want to start taking on a mortgage. Now, one rule that a lot of mortgage lenders have told me that they follow is they want to make sure that you follow the 36% rule, which means that you're not spending more per month than 36% of your gross income. And hopefully that'll make sense as we go along here. But buying a house, it's a big investment. It's something that a lot of people are hoping to profit off of. The idea is that in 10 years, if you're going to move again, your house is going to be worth more money. And then also the idea with that as well is if it makes more money, well, you earn that money. If you rent, no matter what, you're giving that money to somebody else. But to kind of talk about the different costs, again, I think it's important to show you what the different breakdowns are going to be. We'll go first here to this Realtor.com website. So this is Realtor.com. All you can see here is I typed in Bismarck, North Dakota. We'll scroll down here. We'll try to find a home. Here we go. So this one here, $270,000 house in Bismarck. Now, when you're on this website, I mean, first of all, you can look at the different pictures. You can look at the different images of what the home is actually going to look like. But the big thing is figuring out how much money you're actually going to have to spend per month. Now, here's going to be your monthly payment. Now, there's a couple things to keep in mind. Odds are you're probably not going to spend the exact $270,000 on the home. You definitely want to have a little bit of haggling in there, they call it. But if you want to change it by, say, about $10,000, that's fine with me. So we'll just make this one here worth $260,000. which I forgot a zero on there. $260,000. All right, the second thing is your down payment. Now, I'm willing to say almost all of you right out of college, you are not going to have 20% for a down payment. So, unfortunately, this one here will go to zero, just to show you what it's going to look like. So if you want to buy this home for $260,000, which is a pretty large home, 2,273 square feet, 4 bed, 2 bath, your price per month is going to be $1,791. And this is going to be your breakdown. So you can see the principal and interest, how much you're spending specifically on the house. We've already talked about property taxes. The other thing that you need to know is within your payment, you're also paying for home insurance. And I'll talk about where you won't need to add that in later. Your homeowners association, this one's not going to be included. But another thing is your mortgage insurance. Now, if you don't put 20% down for your home, odds are they're going to make you pay a mortgage insurance. So until you get to that 20%, they're going to make you continue to buy a $223 insurance policy per month. Now, you can change this if you want to. This is a 30-year. Generally, there's 2 different variations. I know there's a lot here, but a lot of people do either a 30-year or a 15-year. Now, the big thing is you have to pay less money in taxes in the long run. No, excuse me, not taxes, in interest, but you can kind of play around with that however you want to. So that's just to kind of show you the different breakdown of the home and what it's going to cost. Now, where to enter this information? That's on the bottom. So as we scroll on here, so if you're renting, put whatever the rental cost was. If you're getting a mortgage, put that price right there. Now, if you're going with a mortgage, you do not need to put anything here. Your insurance is already going to be entered with when you pay your mortgage. So you don't have to pay that. The bank pays that for you usually around February, and you're paying that per month. So there you have it. That's going to be really the difference between renting and buying. It's completely up to you to do whatever you want to, but kind of play around with it. See which one that you do want to go with.